Taffy Tales is my favorite mascot horror game on Roblox, and probably my favorite horror game ever. But recently, it's gotten a second chapter, and as the Taffy Tales fan I'm here to discuss what I like and hate about it. Is it a good continuation of the game? We'll see. But join me as I rank Taffy Tales Chapter 2. It's kind of Dandy's world, to be honest, but I have to say I really like the gameplay of it. First of all the rooms are very beautiful and fit the theme of the game. But they also have a Dandy's World style theme, as you can see from the architecture and the shape of it. And I've always wanted a crossover between the two games, so that's honestly a big W. But that's not all, because this game also has boss fights. And even though it's just the same one over and over again, it's better than a game without boss fights like Dandy's World. Even though this guy right here just used a giant power-up, if you try doing it without that, if you actually want to have fun, then it's a very cool boss fight. Even if it's kind of like the chapter 1 boss fight. Now, another thing I have to praise about this second chapter is the difficulty, because it really skyrockets compared to the first chapter. The AI of the monsters here are a little bit better, and they only get faster with each floor you progress. There's a badge in the game that you can get after if you reach floor 50 in chapter 2, and I spent my entire afternoon of yesterday just trying to beat it, and I think I wasted like 50 revives. It generally started to drive me crazy. Now, I wouldn't say this is my perfect chapter 2, as there are some big problems it has. Even though I had a lot of fun, there are a bunch of things they could have done to make it even better. But let's get into some things I don't like. First of all, Gummy and Stretchy are nowhere to be seen in Chapter 2 besides their posters. I understand why Chalky and Licky are not here, because they probably got crushed under the factory's rubble in Chapter 1, but Gummy and Stretchy, they survived at the end of Chapter 1, so why the heck are they not here? But that's not the only plot hole caused by this new chapter. It turns out that Cotton Kitty and Evil Cotton Kitty are actually two separate characters, as if you get later in the game where there's like 2 or 3 extra monsters, Cotton Kitty and Evil Cotton Kitty can be in the same floor, proving that they are separate entities. And it just doesn't make sense, because I always thought that Evil Cotton Kitty was just a form of Cotton Kitty when she got very mad. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Even though I just said the monsters have gotten improved AI from Chapter 1, that doesn't mean it's good, because they can still lose their vision of you by going in front of or behind henchmen, because the henchmen are solids. It's just something that the creator of this game was never able to solve, I guess. Not only that, but just like the other monsters in the game, Slushy doesn't have any unique abilities. There are some like sorbet puddles in the kitchens that if you step on you slip, and that can cause monsters to kill you, but it might not even be an ability from him, and since it's only in the kitchens, it isn't as menacing of an ability as it could have been. Now, is this a bad chapter 2? Absolutely not. I still had a bunch of time playing it, because of all the things I talked about, there's still some things I need to cover. First of all, I really like the design of Slushy. His form is unique even by the standards of this game. I love the detail of him having straws as antennas, and in recent updates, he has gotten a new still animation where he just sits and bobs his head, and that's a very nice detail. Also, the machines are kind of a nice rework compared to the Ether machines in Danny's World. They are pretty fast to complete most of the time, but the reason for that is if you leave it, you have to start all over again, so it makes you really have to stop and think about what you're doing and look around for monsters because when you really start to progress in this game, they can get pretty fast and kill you over and over and over again. Now, this isn't necessarily better than the machines in Danny's World, but I still find it to be a really fun twist. In Danny's World, if you just leave a machine to go away from twisted, you have to do it again, as there's a meter that stays even after you leave it. But in Taffy Tales Chapter 2, that's not the case. So you have to look around for monsters and then do the machine because you don't know if one's gonna chase you away from it and kill you. Now, the machines do spawn near barrels and lockers, which can make it easier to finish it, as there's a glitch where you can do machines while hiding so monsters don't see you. But even without that, there will be a lot of machines that aren't next to hiding spots, specifically when you get to high floors. So you really need to think what you're going to do and where the monsters are. Now, Chapter 2 obviously could have been better, but for a game that only received 47 million visits, that's honestly a very great update to the game. Still has some flaws, but it can be extremely fun to play with friends. But anyway, you should tell me in the comments if you enjoyed Chapter 2, what they could have fixed about it, and if it's a good continuation of the game. I will see you next time. This is Isaac Santos, and I hope to see you again.